You're watching Ladies in the Locker Room. We'll be right back. And here we are. What's going on, everybody? It's your girl, it's Hattie, and you're watching Ladies in the Locker Room. So I'm going to dive right on into some sports news. But first and foremost, I've got to share something with you guys. Earlier this year, I want to know, not even this year, in the summer, late summer, I got the opportunity to participate in a phenomenal event. And I didn't even know that existed. Myself and 57 other seniors from in and around Atlanta, I should say, we went to Iowa to participate in what was called the National Senior Olympics. I didn't even know there was such a thing. Not only was there such a thing, I met athletes from around the world. It's national. I met them from Barbados to the Ukraine to Lithuania, just different places. And these athletes were 55 and up. So I thought I was old playing basketball at, you ready for it? 69. That's how old I am, 69. So I thought, I played since I was like 9 years old. That means I've been playing basketball 60 years. So I was like, oh, I'm too old. So when I joined a ladies team, which is called the ATL Diamonds, and I want to shout out the Diamonds, Miss Sugar Mama, um, and also Miss Maddie Malone. These ladies have a team that was 65 and up. So we were the ATL Diamonds Plus. And when they invited me to be a part of their team, I couldn't even believe it. But not only was I part of a team, they were so serious. But as I said, I thought I was old until I got there. And I found ladies 85, men 80 and 85 years old still participating in organized sports. The eldest person I met was a 94-year-old man who came in silver with the one, I think it was the I think it was the 1 mile run or something. But at 94, if I could run 1 mile, I'll take it. So take a look at some of these other seniors who did join me. Uh, 1 second, we'll be right back. First, I'm gonna go to my first commercial. Hey y'all, have you been looking for something new and exciting to do? You should visit Wortham RV Park in Wortham, Georgia, where you'll find beautiful campgrounds, a gorgeous and fantastic view of nature, hiking trails, plenty of RV parking with great recreational and relaxing fishing area, gorgeous outdoor cooking space, sensational bike trails, and spend your endless nights by the campfire. Contact Wortham RV Park today to set up your next outdoor adventure. See you there. So that was another one of my summer adventures this year. I went camping for the first time in my life. I've never considered myself an outdoorsy kind of girl when it comes to that kind of stuff, sleeping outdoors and all of that. Well, we did. This park is owned by an African American male, and it is an awesome park. So check out Wortham Park down in Wortham, Georgia, and get out there and do some camping. We had a great time. Now for some senior Olympics. Take a look at my friends. Phenomenal talents for ages 55 and up. I ain't even gonna say how far we went, but we all participated in the National Senior Games. Now I see a lot of medals, I see a lot of ribbons. First of all, I want to commend you all because we went, so we've already won, right? Would you agree? All right, real quick, tell everybody your name and what sport you participated in. I'm gonna start right here.
Sonia Gilkey, aka Sister 90, and I was with the Atlanta Diamonds and the Atlanta Angels basketball, 60 and 65 years and older.
Mike Record was with the 55 and over basketball team.
O.J. Moore, I was with the 55 and over basketball team.
Mary Copeland, and I was with the 60 and over basketball.
All right.
Staff, Deborah Bashir.
Staff Bashir. All right.
I'm Owen Rogers, and I'm a veteran, and I'm not giving up.
He ain't giving up.
Valerie Rouse, 71 years of age, bowling.
Bowling. Look at those medals. Look at those medals.
Ronnie Hurst, pickleball and bowling.
Pickleball and bowling.
Linda Kendrick, 75 and over, bowling and shuffleboard.
Bowling and shuffleboard. I see somebody back down there.
Eddie Hurst, 70 plus, pickleball, bowling.
Pickleball and bowling. All right, coming on around.
Rita Drake, cornhole.
Cornhole. Cornhole.
Judy Smith, I did shuffleboard, badminton, and cornhole, 75, 76.
Judy, you did a lot of stuff I see there. How many years have you participated in the senior
This
games?
was my 4th year in the National.
4th year in the Nationals. All right, all right.
Hey, Sharon Arnold, basketball and bowling.
Basketball and bowling. All right. Oh, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, just real quick, tell everybody this was my first senior game, and it was awesome. What is your takeaway? What is your feeling about being a part of something at our age? I'm 69 years old. Played basketball as a kid. Never knew they had anything going on for somebody 69. So just give us your thoughts real quick about still being able to participate, Miss Mary.
Oh, I feel great. Let me know that I love competing and I can do it.
All right.
Well, I don't stop doing anything. I keep doing everything I can. I don't give up. Like I said, I don't give up. You start cutting things out, you won't be able to do a damn thing.
That's right. Don't cut nothing out. Uh-oh, she wasn't ready.
I appreciate the fact that the city of Atlanta gives us this opportunity to show that age is just numbers.
Let me tell you, I agree with you. I thought I was old going to the senior games until I got there and I saw the ladies 85 still playing basketball. 85.
Too young.
Still young. And now, how many sports did you participate in
I
again?
played in 3 sports and 8 events,
And what age group?
75 to 79.
And then what were they? What were your events?
Shuffleboard, cornhole, and badminton.
And badminton. All right. Thank you all so much. Thank you so much. Well, I look forward to seeing you all again next time.
Hi, guys.
All right. Those were the Atlanta Prime Time Seniors. And yes, we did participate in all different kind of sports. And like I said, it was a really, really awesome event. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I have a special guest. And I'm going to bring him on. And I need him to tell you a little bit about his sports background and why he's such a sports enthusiast. Ladies and gentlemen, let me bring on my guest. And you put your hands together for Mr. Paul. And let me make sure I'm saying your name. Debnam.
Debnam, yes.
Debnam.
Yes.
All right, Paul. Let me give you thanks for
Good
joining me
evening.
tonight on Ladies in the Locker Room. Tell everybody a little bit about your sports background and what makes you such a sports enthusiast.
Well, my name is Paul Debnam. Once again, I played basketball, football, and track in high school. Went on to play college basketball, and I actually came down to Atlanta to try for the Atlanta Hawks, and it didn't work out. But I moved on and played a little international ball and played college, and it's just it's been a great sport. And I never forget I did a paper in college where that's a sport you can play all the way up until you're 80 years of age, and I enjoy it. I enjoy competing, and just a great thing to be a part of. It keeps you young and it keeps you fit.
You heard what some of my primetime seniors of Atlanta said. Keeps you young, keeps you
Yeah.
active, and keeps you fit. And now, have you ever heard of the Senior Olympics?
I've heard of the Masters. I think they call it the Masters, but I haven't heard the Senior Olympics.
That's
But
something
it
totally
sounds,
different.
yeah,
As
I'd
an
like,
adult athlete, you have got to look into that.
yeah,
It's
I'm
it's
interested. I'd
a
like to
real
participate.
deal. Oh my God. When I
When's the
tell
next,
you,
when's the next,
it's like the regular Olympics that comes around every 4 years. This one comes around every 2 years. So we
okay,
just had it this year. So 2 years from now, it'll be around again. So if
okay,
you're in Atlanta and you're a member of any of the Atlanta parks and recs or anything like that, those of us who are, that's what we're called the primetime seniors. But there were people from all over Georgia. I mean, all over the country, actually, and all over the world. As I said,
wow,
I met track and field stars up to 94 years old, and they were
wow,
participating. And like I said, I had no idea until I got there. It was a really, really awesome event. I've looked forward to it since I joined the team, the ATL Diamonds, and that's all they ever talked to me about was you've got to go to the senior games. And when I went
wow,
there, I found out what it was that they were really raving about. It was really an awesome event. And being an athlete yourself, it is something you definitely want to check into the next time. Just look up anytime you want to Google National Senior Games, and it'll tell
Okay,
you where
we'll
the
do.
next one is. Okay. All
We'll
right.
do.
So before we get into some of these other topics, let's talk about a little bit of World Series. Did you watch the baseball game last night?
I did not. I
Well, you
watched
know
very
what?
little baseball. I'm
Let me
sorry.
tell you something. You really had to be a fan if you watched it last night because this game went on until 3 o'clock in the morning.
Really?
Yes, the World Series was game three, with Freddie Freeman. He used to be an Atlanta Brave. Well, he hit a walk-off homer. This game was tied. They went all the way up into the, I think, 18th inning.
Okay.
It was the 18th inning. Game went on till about 3 o'clock in the morning until somebody finally won. And Freddie Freeman, our former Brave, hit a walk-off homer that won the game for the Dodgers. And that was just game three. So if they went 18 innings last night, I don't know what they got left for the next game. That was just
Wow.
game three. So they've got to play again. But it's getting really interesting. If you are a baseball fan, if you're a sports fan, you might want to take a look at the World Series. It was really, really awesome. The next thing I want to ask you, what do you know about Georgia Tech? You know, our Georgia Tech football team is the only team in Georgia that's undefeated. Tech
Yeah,
is 8-0. So
that's
what do you know
very
about Georgia Tech?
well. Georgia Tech. When you hear Georgia Tech, I initially think about basketball, the basketball program, because they've had such a storied basketball history. Now that the football team is doing well, it's great to know that both teams are doing so well, and it's awesome that they're undefeated and in the ACC. They're not in the SEC, right? The ACC, right?
No, they're the Atlantic.
Oh, the Atlanta. Okay, okay.
Hmm.
I didn't know that. Well, that's awesome that they're undefeated, and people talk about Georgia all the time. You got to start talking more about Georgia Tech football.
That's right. Georgia's got so many sports teams and colleges. We've got plenty of them. But as I said, at this point, Georgia Tech is the only one that's undefeated. They're first place in the Atlantic Coast. UGA,
Wow.
yep, UGA has a 6-1 record, which is landing them third in the SEC. And we know our Falcons are struggling a little bit. Now, I, I love football. I come from, as you can see, state of New Jersey. My team was the New York Giants for most of my life. I started
Okay.
watching football though with the Raiders. The Oakland
Wow.
Raiders were my first team. I had a neighbor who played for the Raiders, and so on Sundays I was forced to watch it, even though I was a kid. I didn't know what was going on, but that's how I started watching football.
Wow.
Was
Wow.
watching one of the most famous Raiders there ever was. They called him the most feared man in the NFL when he did play, and his name was Jack Tatum.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Zach Tatum was a hard hitter. He was
yes,
mean, mean, mean. You
and
didn't
you know
want to
what's
run into
funny
him
though? But you know what's funny? And I tell
on
people
the
this all the
field.
time. I knew Jack from my hometown. He was like a gentle giant. Jack,
Really.
when he would walk around the city during the off season, he didn't even want to talk loud. He didn't want to walk fast. He was just real, real melancholy. If you saw Jack
Wow.
walking around, he would be like, "Hey, how y'all doing? What's up?" And so the animal that people wanted to call him, because they called him, like I said, the most feared man in the NFL, and they
Yeah.
called him the assassin. That was his
Absolutely.
title. He was the assassin.
Absolutely.
But at home, we were just like, "Hey, Jack, hey." He was like this real,
It's cool.
like
That's awesome.
yes, real cool, real gentle giant. Just like you hear somebody like I always think of Broadman from the fifth floor. He always say, "Just chilling." So that's who I think about when I think about Jack. That's who
Wow.
we knew. Jack was
Wow.
just chilling.
Yeah.
So when the whole thing happened with Daryl Stingley,
Yeah, I was
it
gonna
was
bring that up. You think
it
about
was a
Dale Stingley
listen.
immediately.
Let me tell you something. The saddest part about that is Jack being the human that he was. Not only did he want to go see him and want to apologize, but he was told to just stay out the way for a minute. But then
Really?
they try to make it look like he just
He
didn't
didn't.
care. That's a
Yeah,
lie.
that's what I heard. I heard that he never
That's a lie.
apologized,
He
never
wanted to
visited him.
apologize. The same day that it happened, he wanted to go and check on him. But the owners and everybody's like, just give the family space. Just give. See how things can be misconstrued? And then
Yeah,
the next you know, there's a big lie about him that he didn't care. And now
but
people
why?
are targeting him, and now he is defensive and he is fighting back. But that's not
Yeah,
how it started.
well,
He wanted to apologize, and he
yeah.
wanted to check on him the same day that it happened. But
The powers
it
that be said don't do
powers
it.
that be told him to just give the family space, just stay out the
Very
way. And then
interesting.
it was turned into he didn't care, and that's not true at all. Not
Well,
true at all. So,
the media can always turn things around and
and
say
for
what you
that,
didn't say.
and you know what else is wrong? For that, his name has never come up. You know for what?
The Hall of Fame.
That's right.
Really?
He's
Really?
never been to the Hall of Fame.
He's the hardest hitting man in the history of football, and he didn't make the Hall of Fame.
No, check it out. He's never been considered even.
Wow.
Never even been considered.
And
And
he
as I
didn't do
said,
it intentionally. He just hit everybody hard.
everybody who knows anything about football knows it wasn't even a dirty hit. There was no penalty. It was a good hit.
Wow.
Unfortunately, the way he got hit, at the angle that he got hit, caused the damage that it did. It wasn't that he was aiming to do that. He was playing the game that he was trained to play, being the player that he was trained to play. And for that reason, it seems like the NFL is crucifying him for the rest of his life. And so he's
Wow.
never even been considered. I mean, you tell me if his name has ever come up in a Hall of Fame conversation because I've never heard it.
No, I didn't
And
know.
I think
I didn't
I
know.
think it should.
I just automatically assumed that he was a Hall of Famer by his
That's,
performance on the field.
his performance was outstanding enough to be considered for the time that he played. And yes, they call him the assassin, and he was one of the most hard until Lawrence Taylor in my era. When Lawrence Taylor came around, it was the same kind of action. And that was
Yeah.
the second, player from my era that I decided. Like Jack, I said I didn't know, and I every time he hit somebody, I said touchdown. That's how young I was. But as I got into football and I got, of age to understand football, I was a Lawrence Taylor fan, and I watched a lot of Lawrence Taylor. Um, and I don't think I love. I've loved a lot of players and a lot of. I love as a woman. It's crazy, but football is my favorite sport because that was my first one that I started to watch was
I
because of Jack. So
understand.
it's my favorite sport. But
Interesting.
yeah, very interesting. And I played softball and also played baseball with the boys. Right, you can ask my friend Derek McKay. He was my neighbor. Derek McKay and Michael Ferguson were my neighbors, and they were baseball players. I never forget
Okay.
the year that they got to go to Puerto Rico because
Mm-hmm.
their team had won, and they got a chance. I didn't get a chance to go. My city didn't do enough for girls' sports. As a matter of fact, they didn't even
Wow.
have basketball in my city until my last year of high school. And I never
Wow.
forget the lady that they chose to coach us. She walked out our first day of practice with a book, and she said, "Okay, you bounce it 3 times, and then you pass it to her, and then you bounce it." And I'm
Wow.
looking at her like, "What?
What is
What are
that?
you
What is she
doing?"
talking?
Because we had been playing with the boys and also with the rec and the Boys and Girls Club. So there were a lot of girls on my team. We already knew how to play the game. We just been waiting
Wow.
for them to finally have a team. When she walked out there with that book, my heart was broken. I knew we were doomed. She had no idea about the game. So
Wow.
my city did not do enough for girls sports. And as a kid, I've always wanted to go to Olympics, but there was nowhere to go be in the Olympics because they didn't really
Yeah.
do a lot for girls sports. They only really took care of the boys. But I
That's
got to go as
unfortunate.
an adult.
Wow. Which one did you
That's
go to?
the senior games,
Oh,
the
okay.
senior
Okay.
Olympics. I didn't get to go until
Okay.
then. Uh, like I said, early in my life, there was nothing for girls in my city that I knew of. Not in my city. Other cities maybe, but not mine. We just
Wow.
played at the rec and the boys club, and that was that.
Wow. Hmm.
All right. So moving right along, we're going to talk about something that's near and dear to you. Let's dive into some headlines that came out this week. Sports betting. What is your take on this whole thing, and what do you think? Is this something new, or is it something that's been going on? Or do you think people are being targeted? What do you think's going on?
Well, my initial thought was having to have a deep background in politics. And I served Congressman John Lewis for 17 years as an aide and worked for several city to state, federal government. Well, my first question is, how is it that the FBI are focusing on 3 black athletes about gambling when actually I didn't think it was something that they should even be concerned about it with what's going on in the world, what the president, with the shutdown of the government. You got gambling. Well, my question with the exact action in terms of what they were accused of, I can't imagine a head coach who's making $5 or $6 million a year already wanting to destroy his whole life with one bad decision by getting involved with gambling. I grew up in the South. We couldn't even have alcohol in my home, nor did we gamble. So I'm just not a gambler. I don't understand how you could jeopardize everything you worked so hard for to do something that's illegal, something that will affect you for the remainder of your life, affect your family and all your friends. I just don't understand. And but it's something that has become a normality in our world. I mean, I don't understand the DraftKings. I mean, you can bet on a game, doing a game, be at the game as a spectator. Well, you got to know if it's all around you, why wouldn't you think about doing it personally? Which is, I don't understand why you would do it playing, but people make money being not having integrity and honor, and it gets you the headlines when you are a fish in a big old bowl. I mean, everybody knows you. So how could you think you could do an illegal activity and not get caught? It makes no sense to me
and
whatsoever.
and not get noticed. And then they've tied them in with the none other than what?
The
The
mafia.
mob.
Yeah.
The mob.
No, we
So
haven't
they
seen any of the mafia pictures. Only 3 black
only
guys.
those black athletes. Yeah, only those black athletes. No
Three,
mafia. You're
three,
right.
three, three black guys. I know Chauncey, but the other players I don't follow basketball like I used to when Michael Jordan, Larry Bird was playing in Magic. But this particular, I just don't. I can't fathom why someone. Charles Barkley said it was stupidity. Kenny Smith said that it was a addiction. I just think it's just an overall bad decision, and you just put your whole family or your whole legacy on the line for some money, and you're
I
already
think it's
making
an
money.
addiction. I believe it. I believe what Charles said. Let me tell you why
Well,
I
Charles
believe
said
it's an
stupidity.
addiction.
Kenny Smith said it was an addiction.
Addiction. Let me tell you why I believe he's right. I come from the state of New Jersey, and they built Atlantic City about an
Okay.
hour and a half from our house. So everybody go to Atlantic City and play the slot machines. So I had one
Okay.
aunt, my aunt Ann, my mother's older sister. She went. She didn't give. She had $5 in her pocket. She
Mm-hmm.
went to Atlantic City. So I used to laugh about that. She ain't got but $5. She's still going down there. She said, "I'll play $5 worth of nickels." I didn't know how bad that it was an addiction until her. Let me tell you why I said it was a bad addiction. She got sick one day
Mm.
and she went in the hospital. She had triple bypass surgery
What?
on her
Wow.
heart. Triple bypass surgery. She had that surgery on Monday and she stayed in the hospital for a whole week. She got out on Sunday and Monday afternoon, she was gone to Atlantic City.
What? How many
Yes,
days was she out?
7. 7 days from the surgery.
Barely,
She had the
barely
surgery
living.
on
She lost.
Sunday. They let her out the next Sunday. 7 days from a triple bypass surgery.
Mm.
And Sunday she came home And either Sunday night she went to Atlantic City or Monday. I know it was like right after she came home. And I called my mother. I said, your sister need to be in a program. She need a program. Triple bypass surgery. And when she got
Hmm.
out of hospital, she went
Wow.
straight to Atlantic City.
Hmm.
And that's when I
Yeah.
learned that it could be addictive like that. Now I grew up around it, but I was too cheap. Stick my money machine and I ain't getting nothing
Yeah.
back. So
Well,
I went with my family to Atlantic City, but I didn't want to gamble. I went to eat and go to the shows and all that kind. I got to get something back for my money. So
yeah.
yes,
Well, yeah. It goes back to the way I was raised. We just couldn't gamble, and I don't gamble now. Even now, I mean, it's just something I don't do. So I don't have that problem. But I wonder why anyone else would want to just throw their money away. Is the way I view it.
addiction. I had another thing I want to ask you. What do you think about these athletes out on the field playing sports with all these diamonds on? Diamonds,
Hmm.
diamonds.
That's an interesting question.
And I'm like, I know you
Uh,
can afford it. It's not like they can't afford it. Yes, you can afford it. But why would you go where people are, they can snatch it off your neck, you're running up and down the field, anything could happen. But why would you wear all of your ice on a basketball court or on a football field? What are your thoughts about the players who choose to do that?
well, first of all, I think it goes back to the way they were raised, and if you grow up thinking one particular way in terms of flashy and showing your money in a place that you shouldn't show it, that's the issue. Basically,
Right?
they don't understand the money should be in a 401 or an investment, stocks and bonds, but not around your neck. And I like to speak about the Jewish community. I think their system. I'm not Jewish, but I've watched closely. I've had friends that are Jewish. They are taught the value of money, how it works, how to make it work for you, what to do and what not to do with money. As a black male, I've been a black male 61 years. I was never taught about investing. I was never taught about checking accounts and creating your own wealth. So when you're taught to value money, where to put it, and you're not, you make those kinds of decisions. Oh, I want to wear a $200,000 necklace around my neck while I play football, which makes no sense whatsoever. So it goes back to the way you were conditioned and trained. They are very untrained, and they don't see how they are viewed when they do that. You look at
Right.
all the billionaires in the world, you will never see them with $100,000 chain around their neck. And not that you're supposed to pattern yourself by billionaires, but it's just a normality for them to want to show, in other words, small showboat with
Yeah.
diamonds, and that's just it's not conducive to what they're doing.
Right.
And a lot of times they don't have good male role models to say, hey, if that's what you want to wear, but don't wear it while you play. Better yet, take that money and feed the homeless or do something that will help other mankind, your own people. So yeah, it's sad that people feel like the value is what they have around their neck, but if they don't have that around their neck, they feel useless. They feel like they don't have any value. When the value is on the inside. I don't want to start preaching, but it's not on the outside.
Not
It's not
around
what
the
you
neck.
wear. Not at all.
That's a good point, a good take on it. I had another question I wanted to ask you. Like I said,
Sure.
Paul is my sports enthusiast tonight, and I can conversate with him with just different sports things. But what is your thoughts about everything that has happened thus far with Deion Sanders and his sons, Shadar and Shiloh Sanders, and the draft? Are you familiar with even everything that's happens? And if you are,
Oh,
what is your thoughts about that?
oh, I am a big fan of Dion. I'm a big fan of black males. Not that I'm, against the other race, but I'm solely supportive of black males and how we matriculate in this place called America. I think Deion is the epitome of a father with talent who's been successful over the years, and his sons have followed his footsteps. Now, do I agree with everything with the flash and dash? I would have toned that down a little bit, but the way they have produced and have been successful, it's amazing to see that a black father bringing these kids along. Now, the NFL, what they did to a young black male, I want to tell every black person that maybe it's time to boycott, because why would you support so many owners that basically planned to mistreat a young black kid? Now he's not a perfect kid, but he's a good kid. He's a good kid that worked hard. Young kids always make mistakes. They put a plan together to harm this young man, to possibly teach him a lesson. But that could have been my son. That could have been anyone's son. And to do that collectively, I have an issue with it. You know, I see so many African American families saying, "Oh, Dallas Cowboys is my team." Well, how is Dallas Cowboys your team when Jerry Jones was sitting there watching when he was a kid? He was at a lynching. He wasn't there just being watching. He was there because he wanted to be there. But now he's the owner of an NFL team. I think most owners care very little about their players. I don't know the percentage, but the percentage are very high of black players on teams. And the owners, they care nothing about them. And that's how I feel about Deion and his sons. People have never seen a father, a black father, do what he's done. And they have issues with it. They'd rather see them getting arrested, committing crimes, not doing anything constructive daily. That's a problem. So I commend the way he raised his boys. But I don't like the NFL and the way they did my young brother. I have an issue with that. Huge issue. And it's made me not, there's a part of me where I don't really trust the NFL and sports now. All kinds of things are going on. We've seen things on the surface. What do you think is going on behind closed doors that we don't see?
But you brought up a very, very valid point, and I don't think enough people have really paid attention to what you just said. It
And
was
what
a
was that? I said a
calculated,
lot.
it was a calculated attack,
Yes.
and
Yes.
it was premeditated,
Yes.
calculated, and
Yes.
it was a united front. All of them got together and decided we're going to do this,
That's exactly
and they
humiliate
were
a
allowed
young
to do it
kid. Yeah,
and do
a
it like
young
you
kid.
said, do it to one of our sons.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a huge
I don't think
problem
a
with
lot of
that.
people have paid attention to that.
Yeah, I have a problem with that. And what I'd like to see, I'm always outside the box. I'd like to see him walk away from the game, because when you think about it collectively, there was a saying, there were studies, I don't know if I'm accurate or not, but the average lifespan of a football player, NFL player, is not very long. And if you live far, a long time, well, can you walk when you get out of the bed at
Right,
60? Can
right,
you think straight? Look at
right,
all the aches and pains.
right.
So my viewpoint is, you got some little white guy over here telling you how to jump or how fast to run, and he's okay because he's the coach. But here you are, you're getting bones broken, no insurance sometimes, and after your playing days are over, what do you have?
Sometimes
What do you,
nothing. Sometimes
well,
nothing.
even you can't think about the body. I never forget Jasper Williams. He did a sermon, and Congressman Lewis talked about how it was one of the best sermons he's ever heard. And I said, "Well, John, why was the sermon so amazing?" He said, "Well, he took every body part and he put a price on it. He was putting value on it. But at the end of the day, your body and what God has given you is priceless." And where I'm going with my dialogue is, you get paid millions of dollars, so you make $5, $10 million, and you play 10 years, but with that $10 million, you can't walk, you can't think straight, you have all kinds of broken bones. It's not worth it. When in actuality, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's what you're supposed to be doing with your body. I don't know if that's what God wants you to do. You often hear, or you often hear that that's God-given talent. When your brain, you know what we created. I don't want to get off the topic, but we can create anything we want to create.
Right.
And entertaining large crowds of people that don't look like us, look like us. I have a problem with that. And I hope I didn't go past your question, but
No, you answered, but I got one more for you. I got one
yeah,
more for you.
and I got an answer for you too.
I know you do. This is going to be a good one. What are your thoughts about LeBron James and Bronny?
Oh, I love it. I love it because we have never seen a black man of power. It's almost like football. You understand football. The greatest running backs, the Emmitt Smiths, the Tony Dorsetts, the O.J. Simpson, they got a lot of glory, but they didn't do all of their accolades by themselves. They had blockers. So going down the journey of life, if you got a blocker, it's going to be a little easier. And basically, LeBron just blocked for his son. Now, the problem with him blocking for his son, he's black, his son is black, and you have people having an issue with a father blocking for his black son. But they don't talk about the Mannings when the dad was an amazing football quarterback. You don't think he blocked for his kids to get where they are? In fact, he was one of the ones that said, my son's not going to play for this team, that team. And he didn't. So
The same thing Deion did.
What is the distinction?
Right? Same thing
And
Deion did, right?
LeBron had enough wherewithal, the brain to say, hey, this is the team that I've invested in. They need me more than I need them. So if I can make a call and say, hey, I want my son on this team, why not? If he's not on this team, I'm gonna leave. That's just leverage. And I tell young black kids this all the time. If you don't have any leverage, you're gonna get used any kind of way. You're gonna be misused most times. You have to have leverage in all that you do. And he just used it. And people have issues with it. You know how many sorry NBA players there are that can't play, but they're on the team? Nobody's talking about that. I mean, Rick Barry, all of his boys played in the NBA.
Who?
Were they good? Rick Barry.
Who? Rick Barry.
Rick Barry. One of his, one played for Georgia Tech. They were good players, not above average, but they don't play in the NBA. Well, how do you think they made the NBA? They just pick up the phone and say, Miss Lemon, I got my son coming through. What you gonna do for me? What I need to do to have them make it?
Yeah.
Give them a chance. They're gonna get chances that other people are not gonna get. But Bronny, all he needed was one chance, and that was with his dad.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. That's been my take on it as well. And you're right. And as a black mother, I too commend Deion. I love his relationship with his sons, and the same thing with LeBron. I love his relationship with his son, and I think that is his sons. And I think that you're right. We as a people, and this is what I think, and I'm not racist either, but white people don't understand how we do rally behind a black father who's doing all the right things. And so we're going to rally behind Deion and we're going to rally behind LeBron and Bronny because that's our family. That's our family dynamic. And we're proud of them. We're happy for them. And we're going to, I might as well have been his grandma just as mad on draft day than anybody else that he didn't get picked up right then and right there. Oh my gosh. I was so upset.
Projected to be number one, number two. Yeah.
It hurt me because I knew it was done on purpose. And that's what hurt the most. But like you said, I hope people are paying attention to just what these owners will do to our children if we let them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I agree
Yeah.
with you. Well, I'm enjoying our conversation, but I want to make sure, is there anything that you wanted to talk about today? Any other item of business you wanted to go by? There was one more thing we touched on it briefly, and I was telling you a couple of years ago, I lobbied with a couple of people to say, you know what? I think these college athletes should be getting paid. These colleges are making all of this money, and these kids are coming from Flatbush, nowhere. They don't have nothing to go back to. They didn't have nothing when they got there, and they gonna have nothing when they leave. But the schools are making millions off of them. Why can't they make some of that money? So I was really happy when they finally got it where athletes can make money off their own names and not the schools.
Hmm.
What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are it should have happened 20 years ago.
25,
Um,
30,
uh,
35.
they call it the NCAA. They could call it the NCKKK because all the rules benefit the school and not the players.
Not the
Now
player.
the numbers of black males are relatively high, and they're the ones that's getting, they get taken advantage of. They've gotten taken advantage of so many years. You get to go to school and get a free education, but you make millions of dollars for the school. That's a problem. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that, and I'm so thankful that they're getting some money. They're not getting what they really deserve because they're still making triple. Uh, the school's making so much money, and they're giving the kids pennies. Now, I'm not sure the money is even coming from the school. Heck, I don't know. The money is coming from outside entities. When you calculate where the money's actually come from, if you are supporting, if you have a deal with Mercedes, well, the money's coming from Mercedes. That money's not coming from the NCAA, from what I gather. So they're still getting over. They're still mad about somebody getting paid. And then I'll piggyback in. They want our kids to play, but they won't allow a black coach to coach the team. I know I'm talking a lot of black and white, but it has to be addressed, and I'm not afraid. I just, am I the only one that looks up in the stand? It looks like Alice in Wonderland, and on the field, it looks like a little Haiti. I mean, what's the problem? All the managers, all the assistant, the head coaches, the GMs, the equipment people. I mean, I need some parity. I know I'm going all over the place, but that's just how I view things, and I just
It's
want what's
okay.
right. I just
I
want what's
invited you on the
right.
show to get your views and to
Yeah,
speak honestly, and that's what
yeah.
we're doing here. Ladies in the locker room, we always our one of our slogans is we don't know everything about sports. We just know the men who do. So
Well,
I
good.
welcome anyone to come on the show and share your views, and let's just talk about it, right or wrong. Let's talk about it because your views
Yeah,
are your views, and you're entitled to them.
absolutely. And thank you for inviting me. I've enjoyed every moment. And
You're so welcome,
anybody,
and thank you for joining. I have one more thing to share with everybody. I think I want to share with everybody. After going to the Senior Olympics, I did receive this from the
awesome
mayor. This is
of
my
Atlanta.
proclamation
Okay,
for going to the Senior Games. I'm going to tell you,
okay.
I've played sports, like I said, since I was about 8 or 9. Never had a major injury. Had a couple of small ones, but nothing broken, whatever.
Knock on
But a
wood.
couple of weeks,
Knock on wood.
yes, a couple of months, not a lot, maybe 2 months before we actually went. I got knocked down by one of my rival players here in Atlanta, and I just kind of knocked myself out of whack. And by the time it was time to get to the Senior Games, I got progressively worse and worse.
Hmm.
When I got there, I was like hopping. My knee was bad. I couldn't raise my arm, but so much, I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, I've dreamed of this and now I'm hurt. So I did not do as well as I wanted to do, but I went and I did play and I did make my contributions. I plan on going back in 2 years and participating in a few more things. This time I really just focused on basketball, but I'm going to go back stronger in the next 2 years. And I tell anybody 55 and older, if you're still playing a sport, they had powerlifting, badminton, shuffleboard, cornhole. They have so many different games. And if you're a true athlete and you just feel like I got a little something left, make sure you sign up for the National Senior Games. I'm going to
Awesome.
wrap it up with you today. Unless there's something else you want to share with us, we'll be glad to hear it.
I'm just happy to be here, and I'm happy to know that there are women that are concerned about what men think and what they know and what they don't know. I actually learned a lot from you, and I'm very appreciative.
Well, you're so welcome. And I learned a lot from you as well, and I appreciate you. You come back and talk to me anytime. I love that. And I always extend this offer to anybody out there. If you're an athlete, you know an athlete, you love to talk about sports, hit me up at ladiesintheLockerRoom@gmail.com. That's ladies in the locker room at gmail.com. And I'd love to have you on my show. Thank you guys for joining, and thank you, Paul, for joining me. And we'll see you all next time on
My
Ladies
pleasure.
in the Locker Room. You are so welcome.
Good night.
Good night. Let's see what I want to show you here before we go. Is there anything? Nah. Nope. We're going to say good night. That's it.
Good night.
Good night.